I just faced something no parent should ever have to explain. A fake cop pulled a loaded gun on my 10-year-old son. Why? Because of a toy. They thought flashing a badge would make us back down, but they picked the wrong dad to mess with. We moved to Cedar Hills for peace. Big lawns, white fences, neighbors who waved with real smiles. For a whole week, I thought we'd found a dream neighborhood. Great schools, no drama. I even grilled burgers on night 2, feeling like we belonged. Then Linda showed up. She didn't say hi or welcome us. Instead, she said, "We usually park straight, not at an angle." "No, I'm Linda, or glad you're here." Just a parking lecture with a smirk and a clipboard. I nodded, closed the garage, and mentally vowed to outlast her. Linda walked like a school principal, clutching her clipboard like a weapon. She was the HOA in human form, and any doubts I had died when her first letter arrived. Typed, folded, taped to our door like a secret warning. Your household has been observed engaging in excessive noise and disruptive outdoor activities. This is your official HOA courtesy notice. Courtesy? Threatening fines and calling it friendly was a new low. Let me tell you about the real star of this story. My son, Ethan, 10 years old, a whirlwind of energy packed into a skinny frame, fueled by candy and wild ideas. He doesn't walk, he bounces. He once strapped a camera to a pigeon. That was a Monday. He built a volcano with a soda can and a sparkler. That was a Saturday. He's a genius with the focus of a firecracker. So yeah, Linda hated him from day one. Her first complaint: unsupervised child. Ethan was in our backyard with a juice pouch and a squirt gun. I told her he was fine. She said, "We have community standards." Then came a $50 fine for improper recreational usage of outdoor space. Translation: Ethan had built a cardboard catapult that launched foam balls, one of which splashed into Linda's fancy bird bath. Honestly, I should have charged her for decorating it. Things got worse fast. The next week, 2 guys in matching navy jackets showed up, their badges looking like cheap printouts. One wore tactical gloves, like he was pruning roses at warp speed. They didn't say who sent them, but Linda watched from across the street, grinning like she was directing a spy movie. "Compliance check," one said, opening a notebook. "Your yard has a reported structure violating HOA landscaping guidelines." "You mean the box fort?" I asked. "Fortified cardboard," he said, "obstructs visual line of sight." It was 4 delivery boxes taped to a wagon, Ethan's Fort Thunder. They snapped photos and left. That night, I set up 2 motion cameras. At 2:13 a.m., the feed lit up. 2 figures, same jackets, flashlights. One crouched by my hose. The other recorded our garage window, panning across the yard like they were mapping it. They picked up Ethan's bike, checked it, then set it down. This wasn't an inspection, it was a plan. I saved the footage and didn't sleep, not out of fear, but fury. This wasn't over. The next morning, Linda returned, same smug vibe, now with a folder thick enough to stop a bullet. "Your third infraction," she said, flipping it open. "Parental neglect, unregulated noise, unauthorized structures." "You mean the slide and foam catapult?" "They block driveway visibility." "Should I bill you for the view?" Linda tapped her folder. "One more incident, and we escalate to formal enforcement." Like the fake cops snooping around my fuse box at 2 a.m.? "Routine inspection," she said. "Some violations show up better at night." Ethan stood beside me, holding a granola bar and a plastic shield. Did I do something wrong? I knelt down. "No, buddy, you're just too loud for her liking. That's not a crime." He didn't smile. He stayed inside that afternoon, and that hurt more than any fine. As Linda left, she leaned in. "You think this is about your son? It's about keeping Cedar Hills clean. If you can't control him, we will." She walked off like she'd won. My heart pounded, not with fear, but with resolve. This wasn't about lawns or toys. It was about power, and Linda had just started a war. 3 days after Linda's threat, I thought she might have backed off. Wrong. She'd just upgraded from clipboard to costume. I was in the garage fixing Ethan's bike when I heard heavy boots. Not sneakers, boots, like someone was invading Cedar Hills instead of checking hedges. Carter didn't knock or speak. He stood at the garage edge, sunglasses on at 9 a.m., staring. My dog growled first, and I knew we had trouble. "Sir, I need a word," he said, hand near his belt, patch reading HOA Patrol, Safety Unit. It looked like a movie prop. You the homeowner? No, I'm the guy fixing bikes for fun. We've had reports of unsafe activity involving a juvenile male. Code red water balloons. Take this seriously. I'm seriously wondering if you made that patch at a craft store. He puffed up. This is a formal citation. Dangerous projectiles launched from private property. He handed me a $250 fine for improper projectile deployment. I glanced past him. Linda was across the street, filming, smiling like she was producing a reality show. Carter left, stiff as a robot. I thought that was it. I was wrong. The next day, he returned, walking straight into our backyard where Ethan was setting up a Hot Wheels track. Carter loomed over him. Son, step away from the device. Ethan froze. I ran out. What are you doing? Active safety inspection, Carter said. That's a toy ramp. Reports of loud impacts and debris. It's a plastic car track. Unauthorized testing of kinetic materials, he quoted. I stepped closer. Approach my kid again without me, and we'll have a real problem. Carter stared. I go where the violation is. He left. Ethan packed his toys and went inside. That night, my cameras caught Carter at 1:36 a.m., flashlight off, writing in a notebook by our mailbox. Linda stood nearby, arms crossed. He looked at the camera and smiled. The next morning, Ethan dismantled his BlazeBot 3000, a Nerf tank he'd built. Why? I asked. I might get in trouble, he mumbled. Linda's crew grew. More guys, same fake badges. One measured our bushes' spacing. A new fine appeared. Excessive shade coverage from our tree's shadow on Linda's driveway. Ethan stopped playing outside, peeking through curtains, then walking away. I found him drawing stick figures of Carter, Linda, and a red X over our house. They don't like us, he said. They're scared of how smart you are, I replied. I don't want to be smart anymore, he whispered. That broke me. I called my brother, Mark, a sheriff. We've got a fake cop stalking Ethan. I need him buried, legally. 2 hours later, I had Carter's real name. No police record, no security license, but 2 dropped impersonation charges. Linda had hired a fraud fixated on my son. It got worse. Carter stood in our driveway, silent, staring at Ethan through the window. Leave, I said, fists clenched. He nodded slowly and left. But the next time, he wasn't just watching. He was armed, and Ethan was his target. It was Thursday. Ethan had aced a math quiz and wanted to blow something up to celebrate. We settled on a backyard Nerf game, foam darts, a plywood ramp, and a remote control car that beeped like a duck. For the first time in weeks, he laughed, that loud, snorting laugh that meant he'd forgotten the world closing in. Then Carter appeared. No warning, just angry boots on concrete. I stepped onto the porch and froze. Carter wasn't walking. He was charging, breathing hard, holding a black, heavy gun, not holstered, carried like it had a purpose. Ethan saw him and stopped laughing. Kid, put it down, Carter shouted, raising the gun. Ethan held a Nerf controller with a blinking red light, frozen. I sprinted, landing between them, arms out. Lower the gun, I yelled. Carter twitched. That device is surveillance grade. It's a toy, you lunatic. Ethan stood silent, shaking, eyes wide. He ignored a direct command. Carter snapped. He's 10. You're not a cop. You're a felony with a fake badge. Carter blinked, his confidence cracking. Jack, it's okay, I said, voice breaking. He has a gun, Ethan whispered. Did I do something wrong? He stepped back, breath stuck. No, buddy, you just played in the wrong neighborhood. Carter moved forward, gun twitching. Ethan pressed into my back, like he wanted to vanish. I raised my arm to shield him, knowing it wouldn't stop a bullet. Then sirens screamed. 2 cruisers and 2 black SUVs roared in, lights flashing. My brother, Mark, led the charge, sheriff badge shining, eyes locked on Carter. Drop it, he said calmly. Carter hesitated. This is a sanctioned operation. You're impersonating an officer and aiming at a child. You have 5 seconds. Carter dropped the gun. Deputies tackled him, zip-tying his wrists. He screamed, it's a setup. You'll face 30 charges by tonight, a deputy muttered. Linda filmed from her porch, smiling. I walked toward her, steady. He escalated it, she said. You knew he was unstable. We wanted a safer community. By threatening a kid, no one listened to me, so I found someone who would. Mark stepped up. Ma'am, we'll need a statement. He was hired through HOA contracts, she said, swallowing, her smugness gone. By sunset, Carter was in a cruiser, his fake badge bagged, his gun seized. I sat on the curb with Ethan, who stared at the spot where his toy car was crushed in the chaos. "Can I build a new one?" he asked, voice shaky but not broken. "Yeah, with rocket boosters," I said. He gave a small smile, and that was enough for now. But it wasn't over. The next morning, we watched Carter's body cam footage in Mark's office. Sweating in the cruiser, Carter rambled, then said, "She told me to scare him. Said the kid was dangerous, the data problem. If I didn't handle it, she'd find someone else. Not the HOA, Linda." My brother paused the video. "Go nuclear? Light it up," I said. "I don't advertise my past. Before Cedar Hills, I worked federal investigations, compliance, oversight, the kind of job that teaches you to wield paperwork like a weapon. I called in favors, triggered audits, and accessed old systems. In 48 hours, we had Linda's empire, violation records, forged emails, fines funneled into a personal account tied to a fake consulting firm. She'd siphoned $14,000 from enforcement for personal use. I met the HOA board, 3 nervous members. I dropped a folder of evidence. "We didn't approve private enforcement," one mumbled. "She never asked," I said. They flipped through bank transfers, Carter's logs, Linda's lies. "She's suspended," the oldest said. "Not enough," I replied. "Make it public, or I will." I filed a civil suit against Linda for harassment and child endangerment, a petition to oust the board, and a letter for Linda. "You should have stuck to lawns. Now you're the one curbed." I slipped it into her mailbox. The next morning, Linda snapped, screaming in the street, papers flying, hair wild. "He's manipulating the system." A neighbor yelled, "Like you did." A kid shouted, "Bah!" Laughter spread. Linda looked lost, her control gone. By evening, her meltdown was viral. Hashtags, news, the works. Ethan was outside again, digging in the dirt. "Building something?" "A bunker," he said, "for snacks, darts, a walkie-talkie, and a photo of Mom. So I remember normal." "You're safe now," I said. He handed me a spoon. "Your turn." We dug in silence, the storm fading. 2 days later, a tip came. Another family, same fake cop, same tactics. Their son, Caleb, 9, nonverbal, loved drones. Carter called his drone unauthorized surveillance, pushed into their yard, and grabbed the controller. Caleb panicked, tripped, hit a planter, skull fracture, ICU. Carter vanished. The parents saw Linda's viral video and reached out. We met, Caleb asleep in their car, a cast on his head. I thought I was overreacting, the dad said, watching Carter's confession. "You weren't," I said. "Can we stop her?" his wife asked. "We already are." We filed a joint claim. 2 families, 2 kids, 1 cover-up. The story broke, local news, then national. HOA hires fake cop, kids hurt in power trip. Reporters swarmed Linda's house. She hid, blinds shut. The sheriff added charges: conspiracy, fraud, surveillance, accessory to child endangerment. Carter confessed to orders from Linda. Her assets were frozen, her hard drive seized. They found a spreadsheet. 87 addresses, color-coded targets, noise, kids, landscaping, surveillance. Carter hit 11, including ours and Caleb's. 1 was pending. Neighbors shared their own stories, photos, texts, odd encounters. Linda wasn't just a bad board member. She was a predator with a plan. 73 residents voted to dissolve the HOA. The board resigned. Linda was banned, her fines voided, her documents flagged. She gave a statement, stiff behind her lawyer. "I regret certain choices." No apology, no names, just empty words. Ethan watched from the porch, tracking news vans. "Think they'd let me talk?" "Nah, but Linda knows you could." That night, he built a Nerf turret from paper rolls. "What's this?" "Defense system, auto fire, snack compartment." He grinned, healing. But Mark called. We found a file in Carter's truck. Another family, a 5-year-old, Noah, missing teeth, bruised cheek, no report. Mom scared. I drove to their house, a small place with drawn curtains. Noah's mom, Rachel, hesitated, then told me Carter had called Noah's toys a violation, took photos, asked about visitors. That night, Noah fell, lost 2 teeth, split his lip. He said the HOA could evict us, she whispered. "I just want Noah to feel safe." I dug deeper. Carter's logs, Linda's deleted records, the list. 7 families, including ours, Caleb's, and Noah's, plus 4 more, marked for noise or behavior. We met them quietly, promising peace. I filed motions to freeze Linda's stolen funds, void her citations, and flag her house for nuisance inspections. Petty, like her. The last time I saw Linda, she stood by her mailbox, sorting junk, no clipboard, just silence. I handed her a page, flagged for inspection due to prior abuse. She read it, face blank. You didn't fail a neighborhood, I said. You hunted people. She didn't speak. People like her don't apologize, they just fade. Ethan waited in the driveway, holding a blueprint. Turret upgrades. Mark 4, auto-rotate, foam darts, snack bay. He taped a sign. Warning, justice installed. It wasn't just about fake cops or fines. It was about power, when people think rules don't apply to them. Linda thought her clipboard made her untouchable. Carter thought a badge gave him control. But some of us know the system better. Mess with my family, and you don't walk away, not in Cedar Hills, not ever.